Another year, another He-Man review series. 2 years ago, I posted what were my top 10 and bottom 10 He-Man episodes, and then reviewed a number of my favorite episodes from the first season. Last year, after having watched the second season of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, I reviewed some of my favorite and least favorite episodes from that season. This year, I'm doing things a little differently, and I'm bringing you overviews of the different consequent He-Man series that came out after the Filmation cartoon show. I'll also take a look at the 1987 live-action movie, revisit both seasons of He-Man for some more episode reviews, and not to mention I have some surprise videos planned, including a few top 10s. Like the past 2 years, there will be 10 videos, so get ready for 10 weeks of He-Man goodness, and today, we'll start with the official follow-up to the Filmation series, She-Ra, Princess of Power. She-Ra takes place on the sister planet of Eternia, Etheria, and the show focuses on He-Man's twin sister, Adora, who also has a magic sword and battles an army called the Evil Horde, who have taken over Etheria. She-Ra is helped along by her friends in the Great Rebellion, so once again Filmation is shamelessly ripping off Star Wars. She-Ra's origins are explained in The Secret of the Swords animated movie, which in actuality is just the first 5 episodes of She-Ra edited together. The long and short of the film's plot is that He-Man is sent to Etheria by the Sorceress, where he discovers Adora working for the Horde. She was abducted as a baby when the Horde were trying to invade Eternia. He-Man eventually delivers her the second power sword. Adora learns that the Horde are really just a bunch of dicks, and starts helping the rebellion to defeat them. By the admission of the series' executive producer and the voice actor of Orko, Lou Scheimer, the movie cut of these She-Ra episodes doesn't do them much justice, but more people have probably seen the movie version, which is why I'm addressing it. She-Ra was definitely a natural continuation of He-Man in more ways than one. It recycles some of the stock animations, the sound effects, and even a lot of the music, although Shuki Levi and Haim Saban do occasionally add additional instrumental parts to the show. Overall though, She-Ra's production quality is much higher and the animation is a lot smoother and finished. You can tell that the studio was doing well off of He-Man, and She-Ra continued this success. Although it was originally conceived as a female counterpart to He-Man, the show was just as popular with boys, and consequently, it also ran for 2 seasons. The show is actually even crazier than He-Man, if you can believe that. It's not just because of the more colorful look because of its quote-unquote girly approach. She-Ra has a bunch more powers than He-Man, not to mention a flying horse, and she really beats the bad guys up very easily and with little to no effort. Therefore, I think the show's central premise of the rebels being the underdogs of the evil horde is a little ill-conceived. But then again, if you loved all the craziness in some of the He-Man episodes, then you'll probably love She-Ra even more because of it. Also, if you feel weird watching a Filmation show that doesn't have He-Man in it, you don't need to worry since He-Man characters regularly make cameos in the show. I especially like it when Skeletor shows up since he and Hordak, the leader of the Horde on Etheria, have some history and animosity with each other. I do have to say though, the supporting cast in She-Ra is a little weaker in my view than in He-Man, and I think it's mostly because She-Ra is so utterly overpowered. However, some of the characters who do stand out for me are all the goofballs, both on the side of the heroes and the villains. Cal is a real weirdo, a koala-owl hybrid who tries to give advice to Adora. I think he's really sympathetic, but he appears rather infrequently, which is a shame. Madame Raz is a crazy witch who always tries to help the rebels along. She's really likable, and she even has a talking broom.
Oh, dearie my.
However, the human characters are mostly uninteresting except for Perfuma, who actually manages to defeat Hordak with frickin' flowers. There's also Frosta, who's mostly interesting because of her ice powers. However, in the episode Sweet Bee's Home, we have some of the most risque animated moments of the show when Frosta gets the hots for He-Man. No pun intended. It's absolutely priceless and one of the standout episodes of the series in my book. Personally, I didn't much care for She-Ra's steed Spirit, aka Swiftwind, but in one episode it's revealed that he has a mate, and in the same episode she births him a son. It's kind of a weird one, but I definitely recommend Swifty's Baby. As for the villains, my biggest problem is that they're not very compelling. The Horde leader, Hordak, would at least appear very menacing, but there is something that robs him of a compelling villainous presence. Yep, it's that darn snorting of his. I don't know, Skeletor's cackling was still pretty awesome, but snorting is just plain dumb. Interestingly though, we find out that Hordak indeed doesn't lead the entire Horde and is just one general within the army, which is controlled by Horde Prime. We never see more of him than his one arm, but this guy is definitely one big motherfucker. However, Hordak does have some cool henchmen. Mantena is one of the standout ones, a freak with boingy eyes and multiple legs. He always suffers humiliation from Hordak, so is basically his beastman. Hordak even has a little sidekick called Imp, who also insults his lackeys and hides behind Hordak when any of them try to get him. I love this goofball. Then there's Shadow Weaver, Hordak's answer to Evil Lyn. She's actually a pretty competent sorceress, and just as good at imitating other people as Evil Lyn. Even though she looks basically like an evil Orko, I think she's pretty hot. Although she does sound like she smokes a pack a day.
That prisoner you recaptured. What was he arrested for?
His cart splashed mud on a trooper. I gave him 20 years.
You let him off easy.
So there you have it. I've only seen maybe 1/5 of all the episodes, so I'm not really qualified to give a wholehearted review of the series, but I can definitely say that it's a show filled with bubbly energy, but also a lot of action. You definitely don't need to worry about the episodes being dull, although occasionally I feel the plots are a little too serious for a show with such ridiculous characters. If you love the Filmation He-Man show though, you should definitely also enjoy She-Ra. Apart from the episodes I've already mentioned, I also recommend Of Shadows and Skulls, Romeo and Glimmer, Flowers for Hordak the Inspector, and The Greatest Magic if you want to see She-Ra visiting Tralla. And that's all for me for now. Next time, I'll review the He-Man live-action movie. Until then, I have the power, so can you.